I, Sophie Power, swear to uphold the law and values of the General Police Department, to act with honor, professionalism, and respect, and to serve and protect the community and interrogating on and off duty. Integrity. I'm sorry, integrity on and off duty. My bad. I'm sorry. What was that? I'm sorry. It cut out. They should put up the mackerel for that. For shooting, it's a do self defense uh, with fellow officers, civilians, and for the taser, you put up the taser mackerel. PD5 is before shooting using a taser or attacking, you need to warn the civilian about it. For example, sir, if you will not stop, I will use a taser. The punishment if you don't do it would be one reprimand. I'm sorry, you said, what was that? You said unlawful and false arrest if you don't use your mackerel. If you just arrest them without no explanation, no body cam, unlawful arrest also would be if you look at them and then falsely accuse them of doing something they weren't doing nothing at all. Um, the punishment for that would be the dismissal of the police of officer uh, and punishment in accordance to the state law, which means you'll be dismissed from all factions and possibly blacklisted. Because you don't know what to charge them with. If they, you can't make up a, you can't make up something and then try to charge them with it if they didn't do nothing wrong. PD3 punishment is the dismissal of the police officer. Isn't that I'm sorry, my speaker is messing up.
What's going on in here? Oh shit, okay.
If you if you disobey the higher ups, you get a reprimand. Um, Same thing goes for any other higher ups. You would get dismissal or reprimand. PD6 would be the non-observance of sub sub subordination, um, not following orders, supervisors in rank. The punishment for that is one reprimand. It's important because if you don't follow the state laws, then it's not going to uh, that's not RPing properly, and uh, you're not following you know uh, you're not following how it is in IRL. We make sure that the game also has like the same thing as IRL. So if you're a real police officer would not do that. PD7 would be the violation of state laws, server rules. The punishment for that is a reprimand plus punishment provided by the state law, which means higher ups can give you a reprimand, and the state could also give you a punishment. PD8 is using company vehicles for personal purpose. The punishment for that is a reprimand. It's only one reprimand. PD10 would be it is forbidden to insult players, employees of the faction. If it is not role play, the punishment for that also is a one reprimand. What was the first part of that? You said what's the difference? If you're rude to a civilian, you get pulled up to second floor and get a stern talking to. Possible for them to submit body cam that they have and risk you losing your job. I believe it's one reprimand. You need to do a proper role play. One, because we have to stay in character. Two, if you don't stay in character and you get out of character, that can be a reprimand, possible dismissed faction. Um, there's so many things that can go wrong with you not staying in character. You always have to put up macros. Oh, my bad, I stood up. Always got to put up macros. Use, uh, talk to them politely. Don't disrespect them. Punishment for PD 15 would be a warning. With doing an arrest, you need to uh, get their ID, make sure they have no other violations, make sure you are speaking to the right person, make sure you know their name. If they refuse to give you ID, you look them up with a computer. Um, with then you read them their rights. Then you tell them what charge they're getting, with whatever they did, um, and then you have somebody. If it's a male suspect, you have to ask them, "Is it okay if I pat you down, sir?" If it's a female, you ask her, "Is it okay if I pat you down?" If they say no, then you have to ask them to get. They have to ask you to get another female or male officer. If they ask for a supervisor, we have the right to reject a supervisor if we feel disrespected. If they're being kind and respectful, then they can get a supervisor. It's important because you have to know who you're talking to and who you're charging. You can't just uh, you have to at first you have to refer them to sir or ma'am before IDing them. Uh, One, we don't know who we're speaking to, and we have to have their ID so that we know how many charges they're getting and what they have on their background. Punishment for PD 12 is the not replying to messages in Discord, not participating in police activities, not doing things the state assist team or police faction leader asks, and the punishment for that would be 1 warning. So trainings can only be done by vested officer because the badged officers do not have proper training, and we can't risk misleading the unbadged and the ones who are wanting to join. We have to take this with responsibility, which means we will hold ourselves accountable for anything that goes wrong. Um, we also want to know that we're doing it correctly so that they know they're doing it correctly and we know that we did it in front of them. Um, every you cannot go with one of the rules is also you can't go with a badged officer. It has to be a vested. Chief made that very clear in one of the meetings. He had changed the rule for that. So in order to get your badge, uh, you need to complete the taser training. You need to have at least 5 ride-alongs, or 3 or 5 ride-alongs. These 3. You need to do passive and aggressive pullover scenes. Also, we would have to teach you how to ID people properly. Teach you how to respect and identify the person. Unfortunately, we can't do that on other officers, but we can talk to you and walk you through on how to do it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, if you okay, so the difference between unbadged cannot interact with civilians. They cannot go on first floor. They have to stay on second or 0th floor. The difference between them is also if you're unbadged, you cannot make no arrests. You cannot charge anybody with anything. If you are a badged officer, you can only do a 3-point. You can do threes. Once you get up to sergeant major, you can do 3s and 2s, and then once you get to vested, you could do 3 2s, and I think some 1s. The difference between them is some can, when they arrest somebody, you have to ask if you can't put on a point. If you can't put on a certain point, you have to ask a vested officer or a higher up to help you put on that point on the civilian that you're charging. Like I said before, you have to make sure you identify them properly. You have to follow all the rules, and go as accordingly as to say in role play, um, you can't you can't make them somebody and have them charged without identifying. The difference also between a higher up and a badge is higher ups can answer questions about like about seeing chief or whatever. If you higher ups can also tell you when the meetings are and all that. The difference between a vested is um, the vested can do those scenes, the taser scene, the pullover scene. You just can't. You can't go above and beyond of a higher up in a suit. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hello, sir. My name is Sophie Powers on the West Coast Police Officer Badge number GP. If there's nothing you need, I need you to exit the lobby, please. I understand, sir, but at the moment, we're all really busy at the moment. There's interviews going on, and visiting hours are closed. If you could come back later, I'll be more than happy to help you. Yeah, sir. If you cannot leave the area, I will be having the force to charge you with a 1.73.2. This is not a chill zone. You will be arrested. Yes, sir. Hello, sir. My name is Sophie Powers. I'm the West Coast Police Officer Badge number GP 183. We're doing interviews at the moment, and visitations are closed because through 2 interviews. Can I ask you to please leave the department? This is not a chill zone. Or be arrested for a 1.73.2, sir. Okay, sir. Uh, well, I'm gonna have to give you a second warning. This will be your second warning. You won't get arrested this time, but if you don't leave, I will have to charge you. Okay. This is going to be your last and final warning, sir. I'm warning you. If you do not leave the restricted area, you will be. This is not a chill zone. You will be arrested for a 1.7 and 3.2, sir. Now you'll be charged with 1.7 3.2 because you didn't restricted area. You can't do it. I thought we weren't allowed to cuff officers. No, I'm sorry. I was told we weren't allowed to cuff officers. All right, sir. My name is. I'm going to introduce myself again. My name is Sophie Powers. I'm the West Coast Police Officer, badge number DP 183. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do can be held against you. Do you understand your rights? For disobeying a lawful order, that will be a 3.2 on your record. If I can, I would like to see some identification so I knew who I'm speaking to. All right, Mr. Matthews. As I was proceeding to say, you will be arrested, charged with a 3.2 for disobeying a lawful order. I'll go ahead and charge you. You don't have any felonies, misdemeanors, or offenses on your record, but this will add to that, so you will be doing some time in jail, sir. Start charging Mr. Matthews. All right, sir, you have that. Now let's go ahead and take you to jail. All right, there you go, sir. Yes, sir. Well, if you pat them down, you don't have to use a metal detector. Yes, sir. First and foremost, sir, do I have your permission to pat you down? Pat down male suspect, removing all items and weapons from person with back of the hand. There you go, sir. You mean telling you all the PD rules? Uh, okay, that's what you mean. Okay. All right, sir. My name is Sophie Powers. I'm a vested officer. I will give you your yeah, I will show you around. So right here is where we have meetings. Only chief and second to mayor, higher ups will below this. Some higher ups will stay right here. Some will be up there around chief. Around here, you'll unbadged will be here. Badged officers will be here. Vested officers will be here. Some vested decide to sit over there. And some will be standing at the door to be guarding the door, making sure no civilians come up here because we have a bunch of civilians that apparently they like to come up here and hack into the building. If you would follow me over here is the kitchen where we go on our breaks. Uh, Crystal and Kristen are the cafeteria ladies, so they will be coming up with a menu. If you walk with me this way, this is another break room over there, and then this is the door to lead to the kitchen. If you walk this way, there is this is where you wait if you were to see me, or if you would need to speak to a higher up. you come on second floor if there's nobody here. Over here, there's the chief's office. You wouldn't go in there. You respect his privacy. As you wouldn't go into a chief's office in IR if chief wasn't there. So if he's there and somebody's guarding the door, you ask to see them. You don't just walk on in. Over here would be Chief Benny's office. Again, you don't walk right in there. You ask to be seen. If they say yes, then you can go in. They'll let you in. If they say no, then you have to come back later. If you walk over to this side, this is Jamie's office. Jamie is another man chief. If Vinny is not on or Benny, then Jamie can answer any questions. Over here is Toxic. That Toxic is also a second to command chief, and he will also answer any questions you have, any concerns. Right here is where we sit. We look up people on the computers. Over here is the dispatch center, where we will answer any dispatch calls that come across our computers. If somebody's on about and they're pulling somebody over, we have to look up their information to make sure they're not wanted. So dispatch will be in charge of that. If you come over, this is the patrol. So this is where you would go for uh, if you are uh, just beginning, you'll start your patrol here. This has nothing to do with, which is a different thing from patrol. Yes, sir, you do. We also have a SWAT team. This is where SWAT meets. Uh, the SWAT, if you are, there's different factions to be in. If you're in SWAT, then you and SWAT, the SWAT members will be in here conducting meetings, finding out, what's the best way to go in and attack the civilian that is being disruptive or is just gutting too many people down and also fellow officers. So that's when we will call SWAT, as if there was actual need for heavy assistance. These are the elevators. They will lead to floor 0, floor 2, which is floor 2 is the one we're on, but the elevators will lead to floor 0, floor 1. Floor 1 is the lobby. Floor 0 is the uh, garage where you will go and get your police cars. I'm sure you've done that before. Um, if you can only take a uh, you can only take a cruiser if you're out on patrol. If you're just going and doing your runs, like if you're not on duty and you're not pulling people over, you need to use your personal vehicle. Also, floor 0 is where you will do the taser training and pullover scenes. We will make sure you get those. Just let us know. We'll pull you aside and we'll let you know when we do those pullover scenes, taser training, all that good stuff. Yes, sir. Hi, Crystal.
Hello, Sophie. Have you seen Gavin?
Well, I did see him on floor 1, but he logged off, I think. You took floor 0, though.
No, he's gone out now.
Awesome. Do I get my vest? So since I did my vest exam, I don't have to redo it, correct?